got your blue state right here, baby.
All right, Uncle Ted, thank you. Chris Arps, I just have one question for you.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Am I the only sober one here?
That's my question. Am I the only sober one here?
What do you mean by sober?
So, sober as in willing to face reality.
Okay.
That this is a binary decision, and it's a good versus evil decision. And evil is a 6-3 liberal majority on the court, and evil is some sort of crazy global cap and trade system, and evil is socialized health care, which is where Hillary Clinton goes for it. We know that could happen if that happens, or Donald Trump. Now, there may be some question marks as to exactly what would happen with Donald, but we know what would happen on the other side. So being the only sober one here, how could one walk into a voting booth and vote for evil?
Well, I think what we've been talking about for people that have problems with Donald Trump, it's a vote of conscience. And like I said before, during the and like
that is not what I wanted to hear.
Like I said during the break, Donald Trump has an 8 to 10 point lead in Missouri, whichever poll that you look like. If I decide when I'm in the voting booth later not to vote for him, my vote won't make any difference. Donald Trump is going to win Missouri.
What the hell do you have to lose?
I keep telling you this. You're not listening to me. Wow.
Chicken crap.
All right, let's check in with Tony Colombo, who's alive out in the field right now.
Tony, save me.
Tony, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
We're a little slap happy back here in the studio. So,
that's good stuff.
Are you at a polling spot right now?
Actually, we are back on I am mobile. I'm moving right now. We have been to several places in North County this morning, and then South County in the late morning and early part of the afternoon here, and now we are heading out west. So we've stopped by a bunch of places today, seen a lot of people today, and the story out here right now is this morning packed. Every place we went, long lines, particularly early in the morning, and then as the day has gone on, even at lunchtime here, the polling places, a lot of them are a little surprised with how busy they were this morning, and they were expecting another giant wave to come in here at lunchtime, and it hasn't been as busy. But everywhere we've gone, to a man, people have said that this has been extremely high voter turnout today. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that is. So tell me in a nutshell what areas you've hit so far.
North County and South County basically are the two areas that we've hit the most, and now we're going to head out and hit some places out in St. Charles County. So when I'm just basing this on reaction that I've seen from some people on Facebook, but at a few of these polling spots up north, people were in and out in 10 minutes this morning. They're not describing the kind of problem I had at my polling place this morning. Did you hear any of that? Not in the early morning hours. Now, again, we just left the last couple places we went to both mentioned that they thought that they were going to get a big wave here at lunchtime like they had this morning, but that hasn't happened yet. And these ones that we've been going into here recently, the ones that we've popped by, the lines have not been long. But early this morning, especially for me voting this morning at about 7, I got to the polling place a little after 7:15. I was in line for over an hour, and they were doing a great job. The line was moving. The people there were keeping the line moving, and it was very efficient. It was just sheer volume. But and we're hearing those reports consistently from the places that we've been, that this morning was very busy. But I don't know, maybe the rain has something to do with it. It wasn't raining this morning when I voted, but it's been raining sort of hard in a couple different places later on in the morning and early afternoon here. So I don't know if that has something to do with it or if everybody just wanted to get out early. But it hasn't been as busy this afternoon and in the later morning as it was early today. At least that's what we've encountered.
What I'm a North County guy too, and African Americans generally vote after work. And I can give you a story. When I was working on the Corrigan campaign against Dooley in 2010, I went around North County during the day in the morning hours, and the polls, no one was there. And then I went after work, and it looked like Obama numbers. There were just Lines everywhere, parked everywhere.
It's funny you mention that because the few times we've had court challenges to try to keep the polls open longer, a lot of that was in North County and parts of the city where they had to go to court to get a judge to keep the polls open longer because they ran out of ballots or whatever the case was and people couldn't vote.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I voted, like I said, a little after 7:15, or got in line a little after 7:15 this morning up in North County, and was in line for over an hour. And again, not because the people working there were slow. The line was huge. I had to park out on a street. I couldn't even park in the parking lot of the polling place. It was full, and so that was my experience this morning.
All right.
Obviously every polling place is a little bit different, but across the board, again, everybody that we've talked to, every polling official that we've talked to has said that they believe from their experience that the voter turnout today is higher than any other election they've seen in the past. So hopefully that will hold.
Did you see any poll monitors up there?
Not that I was made aware of. No.
Okay. All right.
Not that
good.
I was made aware of.
Tony,
now there are a couple times when you walk into a polling place and they don't really respond well to the media. So some people I didn't get a whole lot of words out of, but for the most part, people are fairly happy to answer at least questions about voter turnout. They don't want to talk about anything else besides that. Most of the places we've been have been pretty friendly about that sort of thing, and everybody says, really busy this morning particularly, and turnout higher than usual.
Tony, I appreciate it. We'll look forward to checking in with you later. If you come across something interesting, call me. And, of course, we're going to have full election coverage tonight from roughly 8 o'clock until midnight. Thanks, buddy.
That's right. Will do. Thanks, Mark. Talk to you later.
All right. Thank you. Tony Colombo out and about with his camera going to these different polling places. Yeah, I don't know. I heard there might be some election monitors, but we'll see.
And one other thing, too, in that 2010 race, Barack Obama shot a robocall to North County about the time that African Americans started getting off work, and I think that helped with that massive turnout in the evening also.
They didn't know that wasn't really him, right?
It probably was.
I'm just checking because, I heard from Mike Huckabee and Chris Cox and all these people called my house this weekend, but I knew it was a recording.
Right.
Just got to think these things through.
You do.
That's all I'm saying. Okay, let me get to a couple of folks here. Kevin, thanks for calling the program. You're on with Mark Cox and Chris Arps.
Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Great.
Hey, I didn't know a lot of these representatives had my phone number. I've been getting it all week. I feel important.
You should.
But I'm home with my two kids today. They stayed home while I went and voted because they've got the Rittner district shut down for voting. Wasn't many people outside polling, trying to promote stuff, but inside it was probably 20, 25 deep. The poll workers were getting us through real fast, but they had a couple of electronic and probably about 6 or 8 standing booths. But what they also did is they had probably 14, 16 chairs set up with blinders there on tables for people with ballots, paper ballots, so you could fill it out and get right in and get right out. But like I said, it was 25, 30 deep the whole time I was there. I was in and out in about 35 minutes at 10:30, and it was the same people I'm used to seeing every election.
Right.
Seeing poll watchers.
Well, there's a lot of them. Kevin, thank you for the call.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So, I don't know, Chris, these people, clearly there's been heavy turnout this morning. Reports from Tony, maybe it's slacked off just a little bit. I don't know. Could you imagine somebody reaching the conclusion that their vote in Missouri really wouldn't matter? How they voted?
I think so. If a candidate had a real large lead, I think they could say that their vote doesn't matter. You know what, too, and I'm blaming you now.
You're blaming me?
No, I'm going to tell you why. Because I was getting a lot of calls from the Chris Koster campaign this weekend, and I was like, dude, you got the wrong person. They're like, well, you signed up for a Chris Koster rally. That's why you're on this list. I'm like, no, I don't think so. Did you sign me
I
up
would
for
never
Chris
do
Koster?
I would never do anything like that.
Okay.
However, some of our listeners might from listening to you.
I was like, why am I getting all these calls?
No,
from the Chris
seriously,
Koster
you had.
campaign?
I'm going to go ahead and put your feet to the fire. You've got to go into the voting booth this afternoon and vote. You told me this was going to be a voting booth decision for you. Surely to God, and I'm not calling you Shirley,
Right.
this close to the election, with the stakes of this election, there really still isn't a choice in your mind, is there?
I woke up this morning because I was going to pray on it and think about it, and I didn't. And I woke up this morning like, oh, my God, I still don't know who I'm going to vote for president. And it's 1 o'clock almost, and I'm still at that same point. I really honestly don't know.
Hey, Church, I want you to block him from getting out here. We're going to have a little intervention here before he leaves.
Got you covered.
Chris, come on.
My vote
come home.
My vote makes no difference.
Ted Cruz has come home. You can come home.
Ted Cruz wouldn't even mention Donald Cruz's name.
Yes, he did. I've got the bite. He said, I voted for Donald Trump. My wife voted for Donald Trump. We need Republicans to come home and vote for Donald Trump.
The first stop that he made on that tour, he didn't mention Trump's name at all. And then the media questioned him on it. And then the second stops, he started mentioning his name.
What's that got to do with anything? Are you going to vote for Trump or not?
Nah, I don't know. I don't know.
I can't get a commitment. Folks, I've tried.
I'm voting
I can't get a commitment out of
I'm
him.
voting for Greitens. I'm voting for Hawley. I'm voting for Eric Schmidt. I'm voting for the whole Republican ticket. Shouldn't that count for
Am I the only sober one here?
I'm just saying. Chris Arps, thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Have fun with that last-second decision today.
Oh, I'm going to have some...
You know the only thing in the middle of the road is roadkill, right?
I'm going to have some Alka-Seltzer with me when I go into the voting booth.
All right. I believe in you. I think you'll make the right decision. Chris Arps, thank you for being here. We appreciate that. Coming up in the next hour, we are going to talk to Chris Cox from the NRA. How about that? And Titus Bond from Axiom Research and the latest polls. We'll be right back.